It's time, Mom, for Let's Talk Mortgage.
Let's do. And this is Sydney. She decided to join us for just a few minutes of today's video.
Yep.
So what are we going to talk about this week?
Okay, so last week we were talking about budgets and wanted to talk more about apps for a budget.
Yes, for sure. And of those who said that they use a budgeting app, software to keep track of their spending, there's a couple of like top contenders, so to speak, that take first and second and third and fourth place and whatnot. And the first one is Mint. They're actually the most popular of all of the budgeting apps. They're 42% of the people that actually use a budgeting app actually use them. Every dollar was second at 17%. And then there's one called envelopes, like envelopes. Instead of the envelopes, it's envelopes. 8% of the people use that. And there's another one called You Need a Budget, which is actually kind of cool because it's the digital version of the Dave Ramsey envelope method, which we're going to briefly talk about. And then finally, there's a company called Personal Capital, which about 3% of the app users use. So Mint is the one that I think we're going to actually end up using because right now I do everything kind of like an Excel spreadsheet. But Mint is where you have all of your financial and spending accounts in one place. You've got your investments. You even have a place in there for cash. So you've got like $200 in cash on you. You can put your $200 in your app showing that you've got it. Credit cards, loans, investments. And it's really cool because it's actually owned by a company called Intuit, which if you use TurboTax to file your own tax returns, you know this company because that's the same company. Intuit owns TurboTax. You know nothing about filing taxes yet. Nope, not yet. But it does connect everything together and it integrates things, even like your refund status with the IRS, which, you know, those people that get tax refunds, we just love being able to see when is our money coming in from the tax people. Jacob's like, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
Not that he gets one, but he hears about them. You can also monitor subscriptions, which I really liked this feature because let's face it, we all have way too many subscriptions, like PlayStation subscriptions.
We're not going to talk about that.
But they eat into our budget a lot, right? So if you have like Hulu and Netflix and Disney Plus and PlayStation and Xbox and all those different, they do totally add up because they're expensive. And so, you know, security also is really important. And so that's the thing I like about Mint because you've got encryption and a 4-digit code that's sent to your phone. So I really, really like the fact that they've got that extra security.
Also, a warning, Mint has ads.
Yeah.
Some of you are like, yuck. But you can buy out of them by paying a monthly fee. Up to you guys.
And I have to look into that a little bit more because obviously the whole thing about having a good budget like this is saving money. Yes. And so I have to decide whether or not the ads are going to annoy me enough to pay for it or not. So we'll see. But some of the things that you want to keep in mind when choosing a plan or an app is their cost, right? Like we just talked about that. Features, any features that you have that are really important to you. And then security of your data, right? Mm-hmm. Because we don't want to be hacked and we don't want to have our information floating on the web or the dark web. And the main thing for me, other than those obvious things, is I want to be able to use the app on my desktop as well as my phone. So my actual laptop as well as my phone, because it's just convenient for me. I'm not always going to have my phone, you know, readily available. And sometimes I just want it on a bigger screen. Sydney is so interfaced today. There's also the Dave Ramsey method of envelope budgeting. And basically that's where you put your cash for each bill in an envelope. So, you know, here's one of my bills, for example, and you just put your cash in the envelope. You know, you'll mark on the envelope, maybe this is for, you know, car payment or something like that. And when you get your paycheck, you cash your paycheck, you get all your cash out for the bills, you put those monies into that envelope. And then when it's time to pay that bill, I do recommend that you put the date that the bill is due. Like, you know, you put like the 15th car payment, and then that's the money you have for that. You would also have money in here for like groceries. So, you know, it puts things in perspective because if you go to the grocery store and you've got $1,000 a month that you have for groceries, which is a lot.
Yeah.
But
let's
just say that you do have a big family and you have that much money in groceries, then you would have your $1,000 in here, and then you would start going through it. And then, you know, if it's 25th and you've only got $2 left, you're eating all that top ramen left in the kitchen.
Yes. I think I use the envelope method now with my allowance because...
I do too.
Well, yeah. I don't know how to put in examples.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think it's true. By the way, I'm going to link down below the article to the best budgeting apps that Forbes actually put out for 2021 specifically for budgeting. So I'll include that too.
Mom, is there anything else that our spending says about people's habits?
Unfortunately, yes. There is a recent survey that was done, and it shows some pretty crazy stats. About 1 in 4 people say that they've hidden a purchase from a significant other, like spouse, partner, etc., that they have been in fear of how they would react.
Like they didn't tell them.
Right.
Ouch.
I know. It's not good. Don't
Yeah.
hide stuff like that. Certainly don't have like credit cards and stuff like that either.
Yeah.
Nearly 1 in 5 admit that they have splurged on a purchase in the last 2 years that caused a strain on their ability to pay bills. That's 1 in 5 people say that.
I remember we talked about a little bit about this last week.
Right. And I've had clients tell me like, yeah, I took a vacation and I couldn't pay my bills the next month because I just was too elaborate. So it's kind of one of the reasons why you budget, right? Is to budget for trips and things like that.
You gotta be careful and know when to spend and not to spend.
And so that's why Christmas never really hurts my pocketbook, because I use my credit card rewards points for Christmas presents. But my kids didn't know about that until a couple weeks ago when we did that in a video.
I remember that.
59% of Americans view themselves as savers, while 41% say that they are spenders.
That's a lot of spenders.
It's a lot of spenders.
It's like spending money.
Yep. So if you don't have an app for a budget, and you don't want to use an Excel spreadsheet, or you're not good at Excel, because that's a possibility too, there are a lot of budgets that you can find online on Google or even Pinterest. And I have a budget board on my Pinterest even.
Of course you do, Mom. Oh, no, of course you do, Mom. Follow our Pinterest board over at the Slayton Lending Group, all one word.
All one word. So
don't forget that.
Don't forget that. So you go to pinterest.com and then / the Slayton Lending Group, and you will find all of my boards, which is a lot, because I love me some Pinterest.
Yes.
Budget or no budget, though, we all want to live our best lives, financial lives at least, and having awareness of how much money you make and where your hard-earned dollars go will help you get there.
Next week, we are going to talk about the 8 budgeting questions you want to reflect on once you're using your budget.
Right.
Be sure to follow us over on Instagram and YouTube to watch our newest videos.
And our name over there on Instagram and YouTube is at the Slayton Lending Group, whether it's Instagram or YouTube. And we look forward to seeing you guys next Tuesday after Christmas is over. So we hope you have a wonderful holiday, don't we?
Yep. And
we will see you guys before New Year's. Thanks for watching. And thanks for dealing with Sydney's tail.